Am I'm actually in Mississippi. I'm on the road.
Are you?
I am. I'm headed to Missouri for a while.
Well, you get about, don't you?
I do. I've been looking forward to this. This is, Missouri's where I start. I'm trying to get the right light where I can see and you can see me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I was at for 3.5 years. Still got a pretty solid networking there, some good friends. So go down there and see some good people, which will be nice, and talk about some possible future endeavors.
Oh, no, that does sound interesting.
Yeah. For sure.
Endeavors that you really want to do.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's been ongoing. I was there before I initially moved to Alabama last summer, and these are friends that I'll have my whole life. So it's nothing necessarily brand new that we're discussing. It's just kind of like, okay, where are we at right now? What can we feasibly make happen right now? And those. So, but yeah, definitely looking forward to it.
I'm really looking forward. Right. Well, I'll look forward to some good news then. I want you to do something I don't think the lady's going to be watching, but I'm hoping that she's going to watch at some point. I have a lady called Lisa, and she's in a pretty heavy scam and has been for quite a long time with Donald's caps.
Yeah?
I knew he wouldn't take it seriously. Yeah, with Donald's caps.
I miss you so much, Ruth. I'm listening.
So I just want you to tell her it's not you.
It is not. It's not I. Not me.
They're putting braids in your beard down here. They're saying all sorts of things about your beard.
You know what's
it's getting more ginger.
Yeah. I'm just glad. I was thinking about that today when I was brushing my teeth. I'm like, man, at least it didn't grow out gray. So at least I got
Nothing wrong with being gray.
There is not at all. But I also
Oh, Dustin, it's smooth.
And it's soft. It's really soft. That's like my self-soothing is just I'll do this because it's soft.
That's your stress release.
Yeah.
Sort of like.
No, on a serious note, I'm not dating anyone right now. My name is Dustin. I don't go by anything else. But bottom line is I am not dating anyone right now. I'm not looking to date anyone right now.
And you're nowhere else other than, this is going to sound silly. You're nowhere else other than you are. You are not across the world anywhere. You quite obviously are not military anymore. And I don't know how to extricate these people off when they're not getting any proof, Dustin.
Yeah. Well, it's like all the things that we've talked about before, especially that where you've got a sense of denial immediately because you don't want to believe or admit or accept that you've been duped because nobody likes feeling that way. And you want those feelings that you're getting from that with the, oh, hello, lovely. And
my queen.
Yeah. They know what they're doing. So it's extremely difficult. I was watching something last night on a documentary on Nexium. They were, I don't know if anybody's heard of that, but a cult, and just the scam. It's so familiar with what we see and hear and over. And it's just like, it's such a textbook ploy, ruse. It's like a script. We say that all the time, but we use these words for a reason because it literally is. And once you are educated to it, unfortunately, sometimes that takes some hard or expensive lessons learned. But it's not, the sooner you can rip the Band-Aid or rip the band, whatever it is off, the less it's going to hurt. And the more quickly you can start to heal.
Because as you know, the longer that you keep going, the more you don't want to leave it. You don't want to lose the, attention, I think. I was talking to a lady today. It wasn't, because I've got two on the go at the moment, one of you and one of a guy called Stephen Neese, who's been used forever. And And I talked to her for about 25 minutes. And I explained everything. And I showed who she was and everything. And then she says, I'm going to see him next week. Honestly, I could have jumped through the phone and ripped her head off. I could. I did shout at her. So if she is watching, I'm sorry. But you made me do it.
That's the thing, is when you're not listening to reason and people that have experienced these and been through these hardships, we're not telling you what we think, we're telling you what we know.
Yes. It is. And again, Dustin, how many times have we got to say, 5 seconds, oh, it's bad reception, is not a video call. This is a video call. What are you doing?
Yeah. And I apologize for moving the camera all over the place. Sorry, I'm
just wondering what you're doing.
I tried to plan correctly by moving it to today because I was supposed to be on the road yesterday. But anyway.
All right.
When it happened, I was like, I'm not missing this. So I apologize. I'll try to keep it steady as she goes. But were we still on the what we know compared to what we think?
Yeah. Again,
it's like
what we all
talking to a kid, and I'll tell them something, and then it's like exactly what's going to happen and play out, and then it does, and it's like, oh wow, it's almost like Dad knew what he was talking about again, huh? And now, by no means, let me just add this in there, by no means am I saying I think I know everything at all. I know that I know nothing, but I do know what I've been through and experienced. I know what I know, and I know what I don't know. And these types of things, it simply boils down to a scam, period.
I try to say to people that the people who are scamming you, because one thing that, it's very difficult to do, is we'll say they're using your face out of their minds, even with the beard. It's quite difficult to put your face out of their minds, and put in the mind of exactly who it is. And I get that, because you've got no frame of reference, have you?
Mm-hmm.
Because you've never seen him. You've only seen your pictures. But as I say, there's no proof, and this is your life. I spoke to a woman and a friend the other night, and I got her out of the scam. And she said, I wish I'd come to you a long time ago, because I've left my husband.
Wow.
She said, I hope he's going to be forgiving. And I'm thinking, maybe not. Left her husband for the person that she'd never met on texts.
I can't wrap my head around that, which is ironic, because my ex-wife and I met online, but that was through a mutual friend.
Yeah.
I already knew, but then we got to know each other online because I was actually in Iraq. And we were talking.
You're really helping the kids situation, aren't you?
But I know, but we were talking every day on Facebook.
Yeah.
And we did meet in person. I mean, we already knew, because my buddy had met her, had seen her and everything, and we knew where she was from and blah, blah, blah. But again, it didn't feel real until we met the first time. Yeah. It was all these feelings that we talk about, the good anxiety and nerves and angst and jitters and butterflies. But I did, in fact, know that I was going to the airport to pick her up, and I knew that she was going to be there, and then all those things. Yeah. I knew that it wasn't and all those happened, but then still, like, on the way to the airport, it's still like, okay, this isn't real yet until we've met in person.
And it must be a bit scary to go and actually do. It's a big jump, isn't it, from texting somebody to being there with somebody?
Yeah, especially when because how conversations go, and I'm not trying to be inappropriate or anything, but you become intimate with each other just in what you talk about and share things with, on such a quick level. And it's like, you've never even met this person face to face. Yeah. But, and it's like what you're sharing with these people. So then when you meet face to face, it's kind of like awkward minute, and then it's trying to catch up with, the relationship you've had on the texting and everything. But I even remember joking. I was like, I was kind of hoping that you would have had a deep, manly voice or something, so we could have, because it all was so good. It all seemed so great. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it was for a few years, and I got a a couple great kids out of it.
Yeah.
But
Well,
again, it wasn't real until I met her in person.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've got an ex-husband. All right, I'm a widow because the second, I've got an ex-husband. I got divorced. I married somebody else, and the one I really liked died, and the one I got divorced from is still hanging around.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a sod's law, isn't it? So yeah, so everything is just getting, I don't know how many years we've been doing this, Dustin, and nothing changes. Nothing changes.
Nothing changed as far as the scams go, but at least I think what we are changing is the number of people that have become educated and know what's going on and can join the fight.
I find if I've got anything that I am pleased about, it's that more people will talk about it. Can you remember you sent somebody called Kathy to me a long time ago from Australia?
Yeah, I think so.
I just want to say that she's worked out absolutely fantastic, and she is Scam Haters United Australia and New Zealand now.
That's awesome.
She wanted to do something.
Yeah.
And Australia and New Zealand do have a big problem with scammers. And so, yeah, she's Scam Haters United, Australia and New Zealand now.
That's awesome.
One of our other ladies. So things turn out well. And this is what I do sort of think, that more people are prepared to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's not that big, the big secret that it used to be. People will tell other people about it.
Yeah. And I think using the, not necessarily an analogy again, but going back to the documentaries, and I'm a big documentary nerd, whether it's on cult serial killers, all that type of stuff, that's along with what I like to study. But there's so many romance scams now, and there's so many cults that are using the same tools and tactics to do the same thing. You break the person down to build them back up how you want, and it's can be done so quickly and easily, especially when that person, all you need is some shiny dangly words.
It is, and keep going with them, because this is the one thing that I notice about the scams. They're there morning, noon, and night, and they're controlling. They're taking over the life of the victim, and they're completely controlling them. So the victim doesn't really have time or want to think about things between texts.
Yeah.
But
and if they sense anything in their way, they will try to isolate them from their family members.
Yeah, we're getting that a lot. That is being used a lot, and it hurts me when victims turn on family.
And that's and I think that's a huge indicator. That's frustrating, and it's frustrating from our side, but when you look at what the bad guys are doing, and that's what they are, we'll just call them bad guys, the perpetrators, they're cutting that family member off, their victim, their target, from people that can talk any sense into them.
Yeah, that's right.
Anybody that can say, well, hey, look, have you met any voices of reason? Because or reality, because they're wanting to now reboot their own reality in your head, the fantasy that they give you.
And let's go back to the red flags. You know our great red flags?
Oh, yeah. We have some of our own favorites. So you want to start with some of them?
Yeah. If he is hot and you are not, it's a scam.
So can I add on to that one with you there? Okay. So that's dead on accurate. They use bait, right? These scammers use bait. And for the victims that we're usually helping, they use bait like myself and other guys. But when they are scamming, when I'm now the potential victim of the scam, guess who they're using to slide in my DMs? Young, hot, skinny ass blonde chicks and young models and bikinis and this and that. It's the same concept. So like you just said, if they're hot and you are not, or if they're way out of your league, it's the same shit. I get the same things every day, but I mean, I know well better, from years back of doing this with you. I can smell them out in a second.
Yeah.
But Same exact point. So that's a very good way of saying that.
It is. And, you know, we don't like to say to people
No,
that.
but it is what it is.
But it is perfectly true. And age is just a number, does not exist. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I've got them waiting for me now. You know, I've got a young bloke on there that, well, got John Curzon. He'll be lucky if he's 35. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and it's, you know, hello, it's nice to meet you, beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, you know, but yeah, so we've got red flags, but we've got to get people not to ignore those red flags. I like your yard flags.
Sure.
Say that one again.
Yep. Do you want to do any more of your red flags before I give that one though? Because you only mentioned the hot or not.
The biggest one. Well, no, we'll go back. If they start to call you babe, honey, and my queen, if they drop your name because they've taken you to a chat app, and they start to call you by endearment, sounds very nice, it's very sweet, but it's because they are scamming 100 others and they don't want to get the names mixed up. So you think it's very nice, but it's not.
They do the same stuff again. I get this from the other end, from the bad guys shooting it to us. Even on, I don't care, I'm over at this point. Like, I'm on Tinder and Bumble, whatever. I'll use those when I have the patience for it, right? But it's the same thing, even on those platforms. If I match with someone, they'll be like, oh, hey, do you have a WhatsApp account? Or let's talk on this.
Yeah.
And I already know, you know what I mean? And it's like, no. I know that they're a scammer, so I don't indulge. But even if I didn't know it was scamming, my regular logic is this. If I connect with you on this platform, why would I want to go to another platform and talk to you there?
Yeah, exactly.
Unless it's going to be texting, right? Like if we meet on this and we're chatting, we're feeling it out. Okay, cool. Well, hey, do you want to text because it might be easier? That's the next regular evolution. Not talking on WhatsApp or I don't even know any of the other ones, but it's like, no, why would I want to talk to you on a completely different app?
I mean, they've moved on a bit since we started. When it used to be Google Chat, they've on to Telegram now.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what Telegram is.
No, I only do because of the military.
Yeah.
And they're encrypted. That's an encrypted one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you need to talk to me on an encrypted app for? We use that in country, like on deployments. We use WhatsApp, Telegram. We use those. I use those for my buddies that are overseas. Why would you chat? Why would you use that for your dating life?
You know, no, it just doesn't make any sense to me. It's not right.
Okay, so
and always ask for a video chat.
Yeah. I'd had something I think I elaborated on. Okay, so the yard analogy I do really like. So we talk about anomalies. I'll just explain. Like an anomaly is something that doesn't belong, right? It's something that's there that shouldn't be, or something that's not there that should be. And what we're talking about with young 25-year-old models in bikinis sliding in my DMs, that's an anomaly. Okay, them coming at me, that's something that's there that should not be. They should not be doing that. Just like me with the victims, the people that we help, right? That's an anomaly. That's not normal. So contradictions are also huge, and you're gonna pick them up. But unfortunately, humans are very good at shoving that stuff down. Also, that's why denial is like our strongest file folder, is what we reference it to. But we're so good at denial and saying, no, there's no way that could be true. Again, that's almost self-preservation and protecting ourselves mentally, emotionally, all that stuff. So it's a yard. Picture outside your dream house, huge green yard, lush green yard, right? And I haven't been watching any of these. I just saw the one that popped up. But if you want to know, I'll circle back to any of those that are coming in. I certainly those. So whenever you have something that doesn't make sense, that's an anomaly, contradiction, something that doesn't feel right, I picture that as like a little wire flag. You know when they'll come out, they do it here in the States, but engineers or whatever, they'll graph your yards and do paint lines and everything like that, where this is a gap line, this, that. And they put those little wire flags with the soft plastic on top, right?
Yeah.
I just picture anytime I hear something that doesn't jive, boom, a flag goes in the yard. And the more flags you get, I mean, if you all of a sudden have a yard full of these flags,
this is what
that's
think, because then you can think of it. It's almost physical, because in your mind you've got the yard and you've got these little flags popping up. They're not going to pop back down again.
No.
They are not going to pop back down again. They are going to be there.
Yeah. And it's almost like an investigator now, to where you've got all these different pieces, all these different little tidbits, all these different flags. And once you can start looking at them, and if you remember what the flag was, you can start looking at them and be like, oh, well, now it gives you a bigger picture. All of them together will give you a bigger picture. But first off, you have to be willing to accept them.
You've got to be honest with yourself.
Yes. It's
because
not easy.
We get so many people saying, well, I did see some red flags, but I ignored them. Well, the red flags are there for a reason. Your gut feelings are there for a reason. Your head will tell you a load of rubbish. Your heart, just forget it. But your gut feelings, you know, they will tell you the truth. If you feel something's wrong, you usually are right.
You are, because when you feel that something's wrong, because it is, you've seen something already. We see through our eyes, not with them, right? Our brain sees through our eyeballs. All the information from our brain, that's how it's processed. When you, that gut feeling, that sixth sense, the hairs on the back of the neck, those are because your brain has caught something that's known it's not right. And that feeling you're getting is literally an internal response to an external stimulation. It's something we saw externally or noticed or picked up from that person. Our brain caught it. Just all the processing hasn't caught up yet to say, oh, that's exactly what it was. No, you've already seen the danger. You just haven't processed it yet. That's why you get that literal feeling in your stomach. It's an internal response. That's when you get the hairs on the back of your neck. That's your brain stem right there. That's heating up. You've already seen the bad thing. You just haven't processed it yet or don't realize it. That's why you get those feelings. It's your body telling you, stop and get out of the situation right now. That's why you get those. And you'll see a lot of high echelon speakers talking about, when you have those feelings, shut up and listen to your body.
Yeah.
You listen to yourself.
Don't push them away, because, you know, we can only do one thing at once. I don't know whether you do it, but I do it because I'm old. If I'm trying to do something and I've got the radio on or something like that, if I want to concentrate, I'll turn the radio down so I can, you know, because I can't listen and see at the same time. But our bodies can.
Sorry, I mean, I still do that when I drive into a neighborhood and I'm looking for an address. I'll turn the radio down, like that affects.
Isn't it weird?
Yeah. But so with that, that's sensory overload almost. And yeah, I have a whole pitch on channel capacity, on how many things that we can do at one time. And once those start getting too many of them, we shut down. That's why a regular phone number for us here is 7 digits. And in case of emergency, it's 911, because you can only remember 3 digits.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And I think as well, you know, that we don't do several things at once, even though we want to. So our body does them for us. You know, we can be concentrating on something, but you might get the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. You might get the, Misty wants to know about encrypt. What is an encrypted platform, sure, Dustin? So can you explain to Misty, please?
Yes. Now, I'm not a tech guy, so I'm just going to give you the layman's version of it. Basically, I'm actually reading an audiobook right now that gets deeper into it. But it's to where, hang on a second. I have no idea, sir. I'm just passing through. I'm in an old church parking lot.
Right.
What was I about to talk about?
Platforms, encryption.
Oh, encryption. Yeah. So it's basically just a level where it can't be intercepted. It can't be looked at. It can't be received. So like when just in 2018, when I was in Afghanistan, we would use WhatsApp. I think we were using WhatsApp because that's encrypted. So we could text over there. We had our team chat where we could send messages and we didn't have to worry about it being just picked up like a regular text message or Facebook message would be. So it's harder to steal and look at, I guess. Is that
well, if it was used for crime, the FBI can't get into it. So, right, you know, and it doesn't matter how much they ask Facebook or whoever to do it, they can't. So it's completely secure.
Yes.
Completely unnecessary, but completely secure. So that's what they like that for.
Which, think
but
about
yeah,
that. Before we move past that, think about that. Again, goes back to what I said. Why would you want to talk to me on a secured and encrypted platform? There's no need for that, period.
none at all. No, none at all, because you are supposed to be just chatting to a friend.
Mm-hmm. And that is the only reason I had it, because my team, that's what we use to communicate in Afghanistan. You can use it like text, but it can't be open. That's literally the only reason I have experience with it.
They will find a way. So, you know. So how much more driving have you got to do today then?
Like 6 hours.
God, you do this a lot, don't you?
Yeah.
How's your mom? How's she touching?
Pretty good, actually. We just chatted the other night, and the boys and I went to Gatlinburg. That's in the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee.
Oh, sounds nice.
For spring break. Yeah. I don't know if you saw the old time photo yet.
Oh, I did. I'll show you a photo. I'm not going to put it publicly. I'll show you a photograph, because me and my husband got an old cowboy saloon photograph as well. I'll show you that one.
I had always wanted one of those. Yeah. And it was such a good time. Yeah, I could talk forever about just that. But she's good. We are working on now. What's that?
No, I was just saying hello to somebody down there.
But she's good. We're now trying to find, the housing market over here is still just stupid.
Yeah.
So I think to get them here close to the boys, we're gonna try to find a house to rent over there by them, to get here, to get us all closer to the boys.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And then hopefully it'll right itself a little bit, and we can buy a house. But they're good, doing the best they can. You know, missing the boys, ready to be.
This is it, because the boys will miss them as well, and obviously miss you when you're not around. But yeah, I love seeing the pictures of the three of you together, because you must be a handful.
Me or them?
You must be a handful. I mean, can you imagine going anywhere with you three?
I know, and I'm supposed to be the adult of the group. I'm supposed to be the responsible one.
Well, yes, yeah. We'll pass that, because basically you're three boys.
Yes, but it's no, it's always a lot of fun. I know we joke and everything, but I do notice it's draining with them in a good way, like afterwards, because of just the sense of, now I'm not just watching my surroundings, I'm watching everything for them, and I've got to do everything for us and everything like that. So it is, but it was such a great time, and they're funny. They're both so funny in their own way. And Logan is not like me. He is me 33 years ago.
He is. But he is. He looks like you. He when he's been on here, he talks like you. He's just mini you.
He is.
But yeah, I mean, what I was going to say before is I'm divorced, as I said, but I got two great boys out of it. You just wait till your boys are 41 and 43 like mine, and you've got grandkids. You just wait for that.
I know.
That's
what I tell them. It's like, yeah, right now, like, y'all are the kids and I'm the dad, but pretty soon y'all are going to be taking over my spot, and I'm going to be the old man that y'all are taking care of.
Well, my eldest, the one that's 43, I mean, his two kids are 20 and 2. I mean, that's a shock to my system. Suddenly, what shock to his system as well, I have to say. Yeah, his eldest is 20 and his youngest is 2.
Wow.
That's a shock.
Talk about a retirement reset button.
Absolutely. I mean, she's gorgeous, but I had 2 sons. I've got 2 grandsons, and this little girl is noisier than all of them put together. She's honestly, she's just a live wire. So when will you get back to the boys then? Because there must be.
I won't miss seeing them at all. This is just I'll just be here about a week.
All right.
and I just had the boys this past week and actually talked to them about this trip. So we'll see, because we'd had my friends down there, we'd had some plans in place. So I talked to them about one of them, like, hey, what would you guys think if I were to stay in Missouri for a month before you finish school? This is just so I could get my blue belts in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Just a few different things, and kind of talking to them about what it would be
You
for.
in Jiu-Jitsu?
Yes.
Dustin.
That's one of the things that I've done. I won't say that I do because I'm not actively training, but yeah, that's what. That's what.
Yeah, I can actually imagine you doing that for some really inexplicable reason. I can imagine you doing that.
Love it. It's so much fun. And one good thing about jiu-jitsu, if anybody's looking for, because I know a big thing that we talk about with scammers is if you don't have any friends or a life or anything like that to spend your time with, find something that you love doing. And I love jiu-jitsu. And here's one of the things about something like that, because when you're on the mat and you're grappling, especially in a gi, that's like the little ninja suit, the top and the bottom, it's called a gi. When you grapple in that, it's a total game changer, because now there are handles all over your body.
Yes. And you can imagine that you've got hold of the scammers, and I'd love that.
So when you're doing that, even like practicing slow, you're so in the moment and in the now. Your brain is focused just on the moment and what you're currently doing. It's like you know what I mean? As soon as you step on the mat, like, you can only think about what you're doing. You're totally engulfed. So it's a great escape from all the shit in life.
Yeah. I mean, it's you and somebody else, so you've got to really concentrate, because if you drop your concentration, he's won.
Yeah. Yep. And it's very technical, and there's a ton to it. Yeah. I mean, if you're a thinker, if you're like a logical person, this and that, and you like to think and you're listening, all that stuff, and you like to learn, go do a white belt class with a guy that knows what they're talking about, and it's just like, holy shit, there's a lot to learn.
Yeah.
It's amazing the amount of mental that goes into it also.
My son likes to run, and he runs marathons. Mm-hmm. And the technical part of that's always surprised me, because what he goes into, and the technical part of it, and everything. I just thought people put shoes on and ran.
Not at all. I've done.
Imagine Ali doing karate as well, Kathy. She looks like a karate person. With this, I know Ali, so I can say that, but it's, she does. I think anything. I think doing something's good for people, though, don't you?
Oh, you have to. I think for your mental well-being, you have to. Because since I've retired, coming here to Alabama, like, that's a big reason I'm going to Mo to see my people, because it's like, other than my boy, it's great when I get to see my boys, and I see them way more than I was.
Yeah.
But still, on paper, it's only 4 days a month, technically.
Yeah.
Something like that, And so it's great when I'm with them. But then it's like, okay, when they go back to their mom Sunday night, it's like, I have nothing for the next 2 weeks, And I've looked into some things and blah, blah, blah. And you know me well enough that I like to be a part of something that I respect and that I like and that I want to make better, and that I'm going to fully throw myself into it as if it were mine and treat it with that pride and respect and type of stuff. Haven't found anything like that here in Alabama. I mean, like in North Carolina, I had Patty's, which I just love.
Yeah, I mean, Patty's must be just the biggest miss for you, because you were Patty's. Patty's was your family.
It was, and they still are. I try not to dwell on things to be like, oh, well, I could have done this if I didn't have to move to Alabama, because I'd probably I'd be in a higher position there, because when I was moving, I know the GM was leaving, and so I would definitely be a big part, much larger part of that club now, which I would love, because I always loved going there. And then even when I moved to Missouri, where I'm going now, before I came up here, we'd had a plan in place. I was going to be there for 12 to 24 months, train with Glenn with the jiu-jitsu gym, because he's got a jiu-jitsu and boxing gym. And I was going to get spun up to expedite a blue belt to where I could teach white belt and kids white belt classes. That was so much fun. They're like this big and they're little geese. It was so cute.
Oh,
But also boxing and like kickboxing classes. We were going to get me spun up, expand there. And then the plan was to open another gym in Huntsville where I was moving to within 12 to 24 months. That was the plan. But then just life happening as it does, I had to move to Alabama earlier. But while I was there, this was the crazy part. I had gotten myself so set up in Missouri with all of that stuff. But there's also a huge comedy club there. Who would have thunk, in Springfield, Missouri, called the Blue Room, that I got in with from my first attempt. That's the night I met TJ Miller. He's an actor.
Yeah.
That was the night I met. I was going to be working at that place. Like, I was already, even just from the first night, the dude, I could already tell he was going to be drastically using me, which would have been good for both of us.
Yeah.
You know? And so it was like, they only get famous people through there. And I was in from day one. So it's like, I got all that stuff going on there, but then I had to move to Alabama. And I get here and I'm looking for that same type of branches that I could, grab onto. And Furniture Factory, I did security, that's just not a good place. The bowling alley was good, but no money in it. So now
I kept seeing you smile at the bowling alley, and I saw you sort of put your personality on it. You don't get Dustin without getting the works. But I just wondered whether it was enough for you, and obviously it wasn't.
No. And a big thing there, though, was just kind of suited my needs for a little bit of paycheck, because my disability is finally straight.
Right.
That's a big, huge thing I've been waiting on. So now that my disability through the military is straight, like I'm flush again.
Yeah.
All that stuff is, done. But Branson was bowling there for high school. So it put me at the alley a lot more.
Yeah.
And I didn't mind it. I never felt like I was going to work. I liked all the people there, but it was just terrible money and there wasn't much to rise in it. But it was something to do while I needed it.
Yeah. But your first love is comedy.
It is. I would say almost acting and improv I prefer more than comedy. The 2 times I did stand up, I kind of fell into it. I did it because I had the opportunity to.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I love being on stage. I love being able to entertain, So
I've said it before, Dustin, you own the room.
Thank you. And it's weird having the ability to do that, because you never ever think, okay, I'm about to go take control of this. You just go out and you
do it.
You do what you do. And I think that, at least coming from me, the reason I do that is because I think we probably talked about it before, but it's like, okay, right now I'm in charge and I want everybody to have fun and being a comfortable environment. Unless there's somebody who can do it better and wants to take charge, we're going to do it how I see best. And I have a pretty good idea on how to do that. So I don't know if that made sense or not. But
yes.
But it's always
I mean, to me, okay, this is just my observation. I've got you on the stage and I've got a room full of people sat at tables. And they're sat there and they're having a drink and they're watching you. But you're taking them out of themselves because they're focused on you, and they give themselves over to you because you make them laugh.
Yeah.
And basically that's what it is, and that's you, isn't it?
That almost sounds like it's a fair trade. Going off of kind of how I put it, it's like that's a fair trade, because it
is
with me making them feel comfortable. It's like, okay, well then here, tell us what we're gonna do and have fun, and we trust you to lead us through this. So it's give and take, and I think you have to respect that. And when you do, you're given that command and control and respect and faith to say, let's go, let's have fun.
And it feeds you as well.
Oh, absolutely. Of course it does.
I know. I miss the videos.
Me too.
So I'm going to let you get on your way.
All right.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Sorry, I had it done perfectly to where I thought I was already going to be there, in set, and I would have
Yeah.
been. But
But no, I appreciate the time.
absolutely. And we'll start doing these more.
Once you
If
get,
there's anything to touch on, I know we were just blabbing about boring old me for a while. But if you have anything you want me to touch on before, just before we.
I do, but I'll talk to you about it. And
Okay.
it's what we've gone over before, but it needs to be endorsed. And one thing I've noticed a lot is when I want to build victims up again. You know, because we've got so much that they get so down, and I want to be able to build people up again and give them back themselves, because they seem to have had their life sucked out of them by this scammer. And I want to give them something back so they find who they were before this all started. And I just think you are a good person to think about how to say that.
Thank you. I know exactly what you're saying. And you know, the first thing that I thought of when you were explaining it was when I featured for the first time at Patty's, and it was my big week and everything, and I had my big blunder.
Yes.
Then remember that, how hard I was on myself.
Yes.
After when I finally crawled out of my hole a week later, I talked to you and I was bawling like a baby and everything. That's what came to my mind, because that's one of the last very lowest points I've had. And it's to me, it's irrelevant. Well, scammers didn't cause that. It doesn't matter. The point is, when you get to a place like that in life, because I was in a bad way. I stayed in bed for like a week because I felt like I screwed up. I felt like an idiot. I felt like I screwed up. I feel like I let people down that really believed in me. All of those things. And I felt like I screwed up and there was no moving forward. And so I finally got out of bed a week later, and I finally talked to you, and I finally just started taking some steps in life again and talked to my roommate, and I started to unburden myself. You know, you have to be picky with who you talk to. That's a whole lesson right there, you know, because share stuff with. But you have to have the right people, or even person, or somebody. And if you're in a spot where you don't have even an individual that you trust enough to tell those things, tell your freaking dog. Tell your plant. Yes. I'm not kidding when I say this.
Talk it out. Yeah. Talk it out. Not just think in your head, because your head will stray. But talk out. Tell somebody else the story out loud.
Yes. Like where I live now, I have a roommate, but he's out of town 2 to 3 weeks a month. Yeah. So I live alone basically, and I'm bored to tears, but I have my tortoises. I'll talk to the tortoises. Yeah. I talk to myself more, you know, like
I talk to myself all the time.
Yeah.
Well, me and so,
yeah. Yeah. But find a plant, find something that you care about. If you don't have a person or people that you can, start to talk about it. And then how I am, like, I always need to hit like rock bottom of however deep that particular woe is. You know what I mean? I need to go all the way down, and then I can start coming back up. Get yourself there. Once you get to rock bottom, though, it's baby steps. It's not going to be fast. Don't expect an immediate recovery. You know, don't expect to bounce right back. Don't expect to never have bad feelings again. You're going to, but you have to keep going. At least one step.
I think, you need to feel differently about that feeling. Because if the feeling at the beginning is, I hate myself for what I've done, I've hate myself for what I've let done, you've got to get to the point where you feel differently about that. And you can actually think, well, maybe that was somebody else did that to me. Maybe there's a reason why that happened. Not that you were absolutely stupid, but somebody else has done that to you, or life's done that to you.
Yeah, you have to understand that you were the victim there.
Yes.
This was not your fault. This was not you being dumb. This was people that are very good at what they do. And now unfortunately, you learned it the hard way, you know, but you have now learned, and now you've got to start moving again. You will get yourself back. You'll get your self-respect back. You'll get your confidence back. It's going to be slow. It may be slow going. It's going to be a different pace for everybody. But once you have that,
Yeah.
huge shit, and we like to catastrophize. That's we love.
Yeah.
My ex-wife used to make fun of me because we learned that in a master resiliency training course in the Army. It was a big word I learned. I used to use catastrophize all the time, so she'd make fun of me for it.
I might think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, we love to do that, and this is a scientific shit now that was created for the Army by some university. But we're gonna do that. We're gonna spin up in our head the worst possible situation that could ever happen, and it's just going down and 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 down. It will keep doing that. We are so good at it.
Yes.
And what happened when I came out of my hole and we talked, and I was bawling and my chin was shaking, I'm crying, and you were like, you talk all the advice that you give.
Get in the shower, just yeah, that's it.
But it's you will, once you are done playing the oh woe is me game, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing at all because I'm great at it, right? But you've got to get all that done, and then you have to start just functioning again. You have to continue to function, continue to move forward, continue to do those things. After you've unburdened yourself, start to find something that kindles you joy. Find something that you enjoy doing, that you like to do, and do it more.
I found when my husband died and I went out because I'd had a torrid time because I lost my mom and my husband at the same time. And I had a torrid time here. And I remember going out and I remember looking around and thinking, but everybody's just normal. They don't know what's happened. And you've got to get onto that wavelength. You've got to get to the fact that it happened to you. It hasn't happened to the rest of the world. And you've got to then catch back up to the rest of the world and live in it, because that's the world we live in.
Yeah, and that reminded me of one other thing I'll say before I get going, but we tend to think that people care. Oh, they're going to know what happened. They're going to know how dumb I was. They're going to know this. They're going to know that.
Yeah.
People don't care. They are so focused.
Yeah, you're right.
They're so focused on themselves and their own either problems or things to make them feel good, or their kids or their work.
Yeah.
They're so focused on themselves, they don't give a crap about you and what your dumbass has done. That's what I would tell people when I work with them to come up and give a class or to teach or to give a presentation or something. Oh, I'm so nervous. Okay, well, first off, 80% of the people sitting in these seats, when they're looking at you up there, they are just glad that it's not them up there on that stage. They're not even listening to what you're saying. They don't care. All they're doing is thinking about, oh shit, I got to go up next. I'm next. Or I got to go up in 2 spots. Or I'm glad I don't have to do this. They don't care. They're not critiquing every single word and every movement that you're saying up on that stage or in front of class or whatever. They're worried about their own stuff. Like you said, everybody's living their own lives. When you get back out there, and it's like or they don't have x-ray vision to see into your head that you've done this stuff. You're not wearing a shirt that says, hey, this is what I did. This is how dumb it. You're not wearing the dunce cap. You know what I mean? They don't know and they don't care the mistakes you've made.
No, life goes on for everybody.
Yes. Yeah. And we've all made mistakes. Humans are idiots. I know I am.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
That's just what we are. We live, and hopefully you learn. I would say now that get over yourself, and that's hard. Like
very hard to get people to do that. We don't want to, but it's right. We've got to live.
It's one of those that's much easier to say than do. Because remember, you had to say that to me.
Oh God, yes.
And so I know.
Think of what I said to you.
So I'm not at all trying to sit here and say, oh, well, just keep moving. No, not at all. It's gonna suck. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna suffer, but you're gonna live. You will live.
Yeah, you will. You will. So, I want to keep updated of what you're doing.
Yes, absolutely. We'll chat more, and I'd like to start doing one of these maybe again like we did every other week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When you've got the time, I've got the time.
Yeah, and I want to know on the other stuff how all that's going.
It's going very well. It's slow, but the whole concept's been accepted. The whole concept has been formally accepted by Sony, and the pilot script is in the middle of being written.
Oh, how exciting is that?
Yeah, so that's the stage we're at. So we've got to wait for the writer now to do the script, but the pilot script is being written.
That's so cool.
So we're going on. We are going on.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm very excited, very proud. That's so cool.
It's going to be good, isn't it?
It is.
We've got a long way to go, and it's very slow. It really is. They keep Zoom calling me and saying, well, you know, these things take a long time. It's very slow. And I'm thinking, well, it is, isn't it? You know, get on with it. But they keep telling me, they keep calling me because they want me to know that it's ongoing.
That's good.
And this is the norm for the way they work, you know.
Yeah.
But so, as I say, the whole concept, everything has been accepted and put in place. So we are waiting the script.
All right. That's awesome.
You know, when we get a bit more.
Yeah, I can't wait. And so last thing that I'll say again is thanks for everybody for watching, first off. But also thank you to Ruth, you and your crew. Y'all are fantastic. I mean, whenever I find a fake account, I'll send it to you guys. And literally within less than 60 seconds, it's liked. It's usually brought down. And the reply is, thank you, Dustin. Within 60 seconds, no matter what time of day I send it.
Yeah, they're great. They're fantastic on there. You know, it's really good that we've got so many people from so many different places in the world that we cover, you know, most times. I'm really, really proud of that. It's so good.
Yeah.
And that's thanks to all the crazy women that we've got working with.
Well, it's certainly appreciated. I know that I appreciate it. And y'all are just, you're great people doing a fantastic thing.
So we will talk soon.
Yes, we will.
And you drive carefully.
Thanks. Bye, everybody. Good to see you, Ruth.
Bye.
Bye.